Alright, so this is going to be the tutorial for doing the Elements of Arts and Principal Designs activity. So basically you're going to go on to Google Classroom, and so I'm going to go to 4A, I'll look for where my classwork is, so I'm going to click on classwork, and this is the activity here. So I'm actually updating this video just because we have some technical issues with the classroom. And eventually I'm going to have to put Google Chrome on your computers just because, these files that I gave you can't really download. But what we could do today, though, is using the PNG file here, the image file. The way I want you to save this file is I want you to right-click the image and click Save Image As. And then you would go about saving this into your folder. So I'm going to go to 4A. I'm just going to save it in there. And that's how I'm going to save my image. The other way you can save it to is you got to open a new window, but that way it doesn't work, so don't really worry about that. So now I have my image in my folder, and this image is going to be used as my template for the for your assignment today. So all you're going to do is just click and drag the screenshot that you just downloaded. It should look like this, and you open it. So basically what I want you to do is, using only the shape tool, you're going to create a representation of each element of art and or principle of design. So I'm just going to click and drag this into Illustrator. But basically the whole idea of the assignment is it's just going to be a quick overview or quick review of specific elements of arts and principles designs that I want you to incorporate in the big project that we're going to work on. But basically we're going to create an abstract design. And using that abstract design that we make, we're going to design a kind of like a layout for like a personal quote that's like about yourself, or that's something that's important to you. But I'll go into more specifics about that project. But you got to imply these elements of arts and principal designs in your artwork. So this will give you some direction on how you're going to arrange your shapes using this program. So just waiting for it to load. And while this is loading, I'm just going to show you a couple of resources you can go to. So if you go under Notes, I uploaded your hotkeys for the Adobe Illustrator. So if for some reason you lost that little paper I gave you, you can always go back to this. But these are going to be hotkeys that we're going to always use. At some point, we're going to learn about the pencil. Zoom in and zoom out is going to be real important, especially if you have to work on details in other parts. And hand tool kind of like moves things around. So I'll mention these things as I'm working. So, all right, and then you have that, and then you have also the elements of arts and principal designs. These are like the general definitions of what these words are. But I highly encourage you to also look up these examples on the internet if you're not too sure. But this is like the verbal definition. So, okay, going back to my Illustrator. Now I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger just to fill up the screen. And basically what I want you to do is, in these little squares, I want you to do a representation of each of these elements of arts and principles. So contrast. So tell me what contrast is, and then you do like a image of contrast. And you can do one of line, pattern, emphasis, rhythm, and etc. Alright, so we'll just start with contrast. So I'm just doing Command plus to zoom in, just so I can get a little closer in on that box. And I'm going to use this hand tool here. You can click on that or press the H key, and that'll move things around for you. So we're just going to start off with contrast. And again, don't worry if the image is pixelated, that's fine. I just want you to work on this box here. So contrast. So I'm actually going to look at the definition first of what it says. It's the use of different elements in artwork. So it's a very vague definition. So you might want to look up the what contrast is online. So I would just type in contrast in art. It's basically, these are like a review of the elements of arts and principal designs. But here's some examples of contrast. So specifically with contrast, when using it in art, it's going to be like the differences in elements. So it's the differences between like light and dark, or white and black. So it's basically opposites that kind of like help to like pop out the imagery. So you have some examples here like this. The most common one is black and white, but you can also use complementary colors like red and green. But this is kind of like what I'm looking for. So like, here's another example of contrast with color. So if you wanted to be really basic with, what you're doing with your picture, you can do something like that. So, this example here, we're going to use the shape tool here. So you got the rectangle, round rectangle, ellipse. So, one of my examples could be like, I could do like this green box. So I'm just clicking and dragging and making a green box for the whole thing. And then I'm going to make a red box. Because, these are complementary colors. So, this is like the bare minimum that you could do for this assignment to, meet the requirements of what contrast is. Okay, so, something like that would be an example of contrast. Now, that's a really easy example to do, but, I do want you guys to, try to be a little creative in these boxes, and, experiment with the program more. Oops. So I'm actually going to move these out of the way. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to keep this green box here, but, one thing you can do is you can experiment with the Pathfinder. So if you had the chance to do the extra credit assignment, you might have experimented with the Pathfinder a little bit. So it looks like this, your Pathfinder. But also you go to Windows, Pathfinder, that'll open up the window for you. But basically what happens with the Pathfinder is when you overlap two shapes together, so I'm going to do a rectangle and then an ellipse. So you have like two shapes highlighted with one another. You can actually create shapes by overlapping. So like you see like this shape right here, it's kind of like a semicircle. So if I were to click on one of these buttons, and I usually like using this button down here, this one. Sometimes you can highlight over it. I think my computer is just being real slow, but this is like the divide one. So if you click on divide, so this is divide, yeah, I clicked on it and it's working now. So I clicked on divide, and then I'm ungrouping the object ungroup, because they're stuck together after they're done. I could take that shape off, and it's gonna create a completely new shape in the picture. So if you want to like create some like new shapes, that's like the way we're gonna make shapes later. So maybe I might want to use this, and maybe I might want to copy and paste. I think I have that on your notes. Yeah, copy. So Command C is to copy, and Command V as the Valentine's to paste. So you can actually create a more interesting composition than that box there. So I might want to make this a little bit smaller, maybe make this bigger. So something like that might be a little bit more interesting. And then if I want to even take it further, I can do Command C copy, Command V paste, and then oh yeah, if you want to like pick colors from the what you have, I can use this eyedrop tool and click on it, and it'll give me that green. So you can be a little bit creative with your composition. Literally this assignment you could spend like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 minutes on it just by doing the bare minimum of what's asked of you. But I do want you to try to experiment with the your Pathfinder. But just make sure though, don't do more than, you want to only do like 2 shapes, because some of the things won't work. I'm going to click on it. And so this one basically unites it, and Command Z is just gonna undo it. This one kind of just cuts it apart. So you kind of want to just like play around and see what like each of these things does. So that one kind of like cuts what's in the middle. But I feel like the ones that kind of like work the best is like the divide, because the divide is pretty much all these things except you divide, ungroup. So if you want to do like what was that, then you could just take that away, or other things as well. Just kind of like play around with it today. And then also if you were to let's just say I wanted to crop out my image. Like for example, I really wanted to use like this shape here, but I wanted to like cut out part of the image here. So I only want to like use this L here in my picture. So if you click on the shape, click on this, then you can click on the crop and that'll cut it out for you. But the only thing is you would have to make a copy of that square again. So Command C copy, Command V paste, and then you do like the same thing except I hit the crop tool. But basically it's cropping everything that's in that square there. So that'll allow you to have things stick out. And then I would just click on the shape again, change this color to red. Oh yeah, real important though, ungroup it. So ungroup, and then when you ungroup you can change the color. Those are all connected together, that's why the colors are doing that. And then I put so the green background here. So if you want to move that green background behind this red background, or this red shape, you just would right click, arrange, and send to back. So you can either bring it to front or send it back, or you can send it like a little bit at a time. But basically, oh, you know what happened here? So I sent it to the back, but this image here of your template, it's actually behind everything. So one thing you might want to change though is, well, I'm actually gonna have you guys set this up in the beginning. So we're gonna go backwards a little bit. So the template here, I'm actually do Command C to copy it, and then Command V to paste it. Or we'll just do it this way. So you click on the image here. So basically that this green shape, when I click arrange and send it to the back, it's actually going behind this template that I made. So you have to send that back to you. So arrange, send back. Oh. Hold on a second. I think I made a copy of it. Why is that working? So right click, send to back. Okay, so now it's working now. So I basically sent that to back. But if you're having trouble with that though, I can show you that the crop tool kind of is a little tricky to use, but that's how you would use it though. Alright, so you want to do like each of these shapes, and I would just look up on Google if you're unsure of what those things are, just to see some different examples.